Stop blaming video games. What is going on, you guys? This is UltronTu, and welcome to the UltronTu show, coming off July by the power of the internet. Um, oh my god, bro. Now check this out. There has been incidents that's happened on the news where there was a mass shooting in El Paso and in Ohio, and a lot of people, especially like the president, believe that it has to do with violence in video games. Like, oh my god, guys. The tomfoolery and the stupidness, it just gotta be just. Are people just stupid? What does video games or violent video games have to do with mass shootings? Alright, now listen. I'm just gonna jump straight to the point in this video. I will also show you like clips and stuff of what people are saying, but a lot of people disagree with the fact that violence does not cause people to act violent. Like, what? That's not even a thing. Now, check this out. There have been researchers, and I don't know if it was scientists. Well, probably scientists, but researchers have been into this for like years that I've heard about, and they found that violent video games has nothing to do with shootings and stuff. Now remember, millions of people play video games all the time. Shootings happens all the time. There's always killing. No matter where you're at, there's nowhere is safe. And hundreds of millions of people play video games. Lots of people play violent video games. Like millions of people play violent video games. I don't know why people would think that somebody would have that mindset to, oh, I play a violent video game, let me go shoot up a school. No. That's people. A lot of people do not think that way. And half the time when school shootings, that type of stuff happens, it has nothing to do with video games. Now, me as a gamer myself, I'm kind of offended by that because it makes it seem like you're talking about everybody who plays violent video games. I'm not gonna lie. Well, for starters, I've been playing video games since I was 5 years old. My first console was a Super Nintendo, and up until that point, I've been playing all types of video games. I'm not biased. I play any type of video game, whether it's RPG, third person, racing, first person shooter, platforms, that type of stuff, 3D games. I play anything, storytelling games, and not once video games made anybody or even me have the mindset to hurt somebody at all. Now, I've seen on the internet, people have rage at video games because if it's difficult or they're frustrated with the game, because that happens with everybody. So don't even lie to say that it doesn't. Violent video games has nothing to do with killing, all that other stuff, because you assumed it. You assumed people were killing people because of video games. Like, there was a whole shooting in Walmart or whatever. I think that's where it took place. And you assume it has to do with video games. Like, who thinks like that? And this has been all over the internet where people are telling you that it has nothing to do with video games. Shootings happens all the time. And they just like to, the thing with politicians and the president, that type of stuff, if something happens, they always like to assume this, assume that. And they've been doing this for like at least 20 years. Like, what is this, 1990? Or like, what is this is old. They've been doing this for like over 20 years that I've heard about. And I've done my research. And first of all, video games has nothing to do with shootings. So if the last person who shot up a school, let me guess, you're going to put the blame on video games? That's the first thing that they say on the news. Guys, that's why a lot of y'all should stay away from the news, because they just like to exaggerate stuff. Half the stuff that be on the news be fake, drama. And that's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world. Every time you turn on your television, as soon as you put on the news, mass shooting, school shooting, a bombing. And that we just had that. It's crazy. And I live in Georgia, and there was just a gas leak explosion or whatever. God, I'm telling you, that's why I don't pay attention to the news anymore like that. I mean, I do watch it time to time, but I don't pay attention to it anymore. I don't really pay attention to it anymore like that. Because it's just drama, either drama or just bad news, that type of stuff. Politics, all that. Half the stuff, it has nothing to do with you, so you shouldn't really worry about that. So I'm going to play the clip of the videos I need to show you guys, so here it is.
We must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace.
Those remarks were met with swift criticism. In a statement, the Entertainment Software Association, which represents the more than $40 billion U.S. video game industry, pushed back, writing in part, more than 165 million Americans enjoy video games and billions of people play video games worldwide. Yet other societies where video games are played as avidly do not contend with the tragic levels of violence that occur in the U.S. NBC fact checker Jane Tim is here now. And Jane, this is not the first time the president's linked video games to mass shootings. Is there a real link here?
You know, we've looked into this for many, many years because people have been saying this for about 20 years. Since video games started having gore and blood in the 90s, people have been saying, well, what's that going to do to the young people who are playing this? But you know what? You just don't see it. Researchers have gone into this for years. There were a couple early studies that saw some minor links, but as you see the studies get more sophisticated and the science get better, they just don't find the research that backs this up. You can make people really, really angry with Tetris just as much as you can make them angry with, say, Call of Duty.
And you're saying over, the great history, there hasn't been a link. Any connection in these recent mass shootings making them different? Any reason why the president would attribute them here?
You know, he said this before. As early as 2012, you see a tweet of him saying that video games create monsters. He said it after Parkland. He had a school shooting safety committee look into this. But the reason I think you're seeing this piece of persistent misinformation come up so much right now is that the manifesto of that El Paso shooter, the manifesto believed to be by him, references Call of Duty in sort of a cursory manner. And a lot of politicians, particularly people who, my guess is, don't play these games, saw that as sort of a flag.
So jumped on that, but according to your fact-checking, not really a strong link here.
We just don't see the science that backs it up. People get aggressive when games are difficult. They get frustrated by a game, perhaps, but the violent games, for people who play them, just don't seem to be a link. You see it anecdotally in stories about mass shooters. And one expert told me, we see a lot of things that identify these killers, things like isolation, poor social structures, a feeling of victimization. But they said playing video games, 100 million people play Call of Duty. There's not 100 million mass shooters out there, thankfully.
Jane Tim.
So yeah, that was the video, and Trump believes that video games is the cause. Not just Trump, but Hillary Clinton and some other people who spoke out about it. But people, excuse me, and guys, hear me out, because I'm a little sick. But people are speaking out about it. I'm outraged with it. Excuse me. And it's just bad. And I'm going to be making videos like this in the future. And they did this like a year ago where Donald Trump was going to ban video games or something like that. First of all, I doubt he could do any of that. First of all, that's not going to happen. Second of all, even though he's the president of the United States, unfortunately, even the president can't do everything. And he can't ban video games. First of all, video games cannot be banned. First of all, he has no power to do that at all. All they can pretty much do is stop selling video games in the stores, whatever. I heard that at Walmart, there's been like a thing going around where anything violent, video game related, unfortunately, Walmart has to take all of that down. I don't know if they're gonna be still sell violent video games, but like anything that looks violent or whatever, they have to take it down, unfortunately. So, yeah, guys. So, I'm gonna make a part 2 video of this. So, yeah, guys. Thank you guys for watching. UltronTu out and see you in the next one. And check out my news alert channel in the description. Thank you guys for watching. UltronTu out. Peace.